Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today we'll be starting on chapter 13, Old Wounds, and we'll just jump right in, I guess. Nothing is harder for someone to accept than losing something they've loved or desired for so long. And once they lose it, it's like they have lost a piece of themselves and don't know how to adjust. Scott knows that there is nothing worth it on the other side of the abyss aside from more pain and suffering, so he tries to keep himself grounded without expecting much of anything, while Kevin and Morgan are detached from the world around them in order not to get sucked into what the world has to offer. They don't want to end up hurt or disappointed, but mostly it's their hatred for people that has bonded them together, because without that hatred they might be able to interact with other people. But given that they have no desire to do so, it's something they will never explore, as the desire isn't there to even try to pretend. Stopping by to make sure that everything is okay, as he's concerned over what Morgan told him, Scott pulls into the driveway only to see that the truck isn't there, and he doesn't have any idea as to where Kevin might be. Fully aware that this could be something dangerous, given that he's not sure of Kevin's state of mind, Scott tries to recall if there was anything of note that was said the last time he heard from Kevin, but the only thing that comes to mind is their childish fight after his return from the trip a few days ago, and Morgan pleading them to end it. Out of nowhere, it hits him that Kevin might have gone after Bella. But if that's the case, and he comes face to face with her, no one knows what will happen. It will be either love in the air once again, or blood on the walls. Either way, it won't be pretty, and that's something that everyone is very much aware of. So, given that there's a strong possibility that Kevin could be looking to speak with Bella, Scott rushes over to her place to either catch up with him or beat him there, just to make sure what kind of mindset he's in. Along the way, one thought keeps nagging at him. What will he do if, when he reaches Kevin and Bella is dead, or Kevin is in the middle of killing her? He doesn't know if he would join in or want to stop it in order to prevent Kevin from getting his hands dirty. Upon arriving at Bella's house, Scott notices that there's no one home, and so he decides to take a drive by her job to see if he's lucky enough to catch up with them there. He wouldn't know where else to find them, given that he's not a fan of using technology. If the roles were reversed, Kevin will be able to track him down easily, as he loves to update technology. Scott tends to shun technology because he feels it allows the government to keep tabs on people and track them down. Driving around the town where Bella works, Scott's on alert just in case he notices Kevin's truck anywhere in the area. Passing by an old Jamaican restaurant, Scott slows down because he knows that she loves to eat all types of weird stuff, and he heard that they sell really good curry goat and chicken feet here. But there's no indication that they were there, and it turns out that this might end up being a complete waste of time and gas, as it appears that Kevin isn't around the area either. There's only one place left to check, and thankfully, it's just down the road. Stopped at a light on his way to Bella's office, Scott sees a heavyset woman who doesn't look so good just sitting on the sidewalk. Naturally, his first instinct is to leave her there to die because he doesn't know her and doesn't care. But there's a side of him that doesn't want to see her get hit by a car. So, out of consideration for his fellow drivers, cleaning that mess from the road and car would take a lot of time. He decides to give her some assistance, but just as he is about to get out of the car to help her onto the bench only a few feet away from where she sits, he realizes that she's not ill but high. There's still a needle hanging out of her arm, which he didn't notice before because it was hidden behind a roll of fat on her arm, but was clearly noticeable when she lifted her arm to brush the hair away from her eyes. Furious, he turns his face away from her as the urge to back up and run her over himself rushes through him. but he knows that it would cause a lot of damage to his car, and he doesn't want that expense. Yet the temptation is there because he knows this is definitely one person living off the system, while the hard-working taxpayers continue to pay their dues, making something of themselves. Low-life scum like her live off of a clearly broken system. Outraged, Scott hopes to find the bottom of the barrel or that is Bella, because he would take her out himself after witnessing this. Kevin himself has offered to get her out of this town, and Scott was willing to assist in looking for a job closer to their place, so Bella wouldn't have to drive in bad weather conditions when it snows and stuff. If she were to ever be in an accident, it would take Kevin a few hours to get to her. After their assistance was turned down a few times, they stopped offering to help her, and it simply wasn't worth the aggravation. But that doesn't mean that Kevin stopped worrying about her. Arriving at the office, Scott notices that Bella's car is there, but Kevin's truck isn't. He wonders if she's at work or out to lunch because this is her lunchtime and she is never there during her break. Getting out of the car, Scott walks into the office to see if he can find her. He strolls to the building, pretending to need to use the bathroom, and keeps an eye out to see if he can spot her. But he's having no luck. He wonders if Kevin really has her or if she's with someone else. And the only thing that's crossing his mind now is the fact that Kevin could be having fun without him, which has him enraged because they were supposed to do this together. And there's a strong possibility that he's out there doing it all by himself. Noticing that she isn't in the building, Scott starts to make his way outside when he sees Kevin's truck is pulling into the parking lot and Bella's in the passenger seat. 100 thoughts are crossing his mind as to what happened because this wasn't part of the plan. And he starts to wonder if he should have listened to Morgan when she told him to drop the fight and fix the situation. Scott stands by the entrance of the building, waiting to see how long they will keep talking. If it were up to him, he would walk right up to the truck and kill her right there on the spot without thinking about it. But knowing that knowing that Kevin has been going through a lot lately, Scott decides to give him time and space in order to see what will happen after Bella gets out of the truck. Something definitely should happen, and he is curious to see if it will play out the way he thinks, or if there will be some lying and deceit involved. If it were the latter, it could truly be the beginning of the end of their brotherhood. Wondering how long they are going to keep talking, it's been about 20 minutes already. He continues to stand there waiting on them. Then he sees the doors open up and Kevin walk over with a smile on his face as they hug. The moment Kevin pulls away, Bella closes in on him and pulls his head back down toward her and plants a kiss on him. He tries to fight it off at first, but he gives in and kisses her back. Upset over what he's seeing, Scott looks on, frozen in anger. He can't believe what he's seeing after everything that she put Kevin through. For him to put himself back into the same situation is beyond mind-boggling. The only thing that makes him feel a little better about it is that when she went in for a second kiss, Kevin pushed her away. Scott continues to watch, hoping that this is the moment. Oh, shit. That this is the moment. Where the hell? I just lost it. I am so sorry. I am not even here right now. Okay, Scott continues to watch, hoping that this is a moment when Kevin kicks her or something. He is growing impatient, waiting for something interesting to happen. Seeing that they are now deep in conversation, Scott sneaks over to his car in order to hear what is being said. Kevin, I know I did wrong, and I'm trying to fix it, but I need you to give me a little time, because I've been hurt a number of times before, and I tend to push people away from me when they get too close. Bella says, I need you to understand something. I'm not the same person that you knew before. I've grown a bit since we broke up, and I see things and people for what they are now, and I don't care about what we've been through in the past. Do I miss those moments? Sometimes I do. But most times, I don't even think about them. It's just a waste of time and energy to sit back and wonder about what could have been and how things could have been different if you weren't a cheating see you next Tuesday. Kevin replies, I didn't cheat on you, but I do know you are different now, and I can see it in your eyes. You don't look at me the way you used to, and that bothers me because I never wanted you to feel like I don't want you in my life. I'll always need you in it to feel good about myself and to feel loved, Bella says. You don't need me. You've said it before, but you need to understand that I don't need you either. I don't, because you were right when you said that I was better than you. Just like when I used to say my ex was better than me. Well, she was better than me financially, but in everything else, I was the better person. And that is evident today because of where we are in our lives. But you and I aren't so different. The main difference between us now is that where you've been for the last 20 plus years of your life, I was there 10 years ago. But I bettered myself, raised myself up to a better position in life. You, being older than me, should have already figured out how to improve your situation. So I guess that theory of women being smarter than men doesn't apply to you. Kevin replies with a smile. Wow, what an a-hole you are, Bella says. I know you've always thought I was dumb, like I'm not good enough, and that the only reason why you bother is because you love me. I do love you, but at the same time, I must admit that I've tried hating you more than you would ever know. For some odd reason, though, I can only reach a certain point, and then it fades back to black, and then it's back to loving you. But I've tried hating you, and I think it's only right that you know that, Kevin replies. Why would you want to hate me? Bella asks. Are you serious? This is when people think they're always the victim, because they forget all the harm they've done in the world and believe that they're the ones who have been through hell without considering the hell that they put others through. But it's okay, because there will be a day when vengeance will be for the ones who have suffered the most, and the others will pay for their sins, Kevin answers. You really can't believe that I tried to hurt you intentionally, because if you do, then you really don't know me at all. And that's a real shame, because I know you better than you give me credit for. And no matter what I do, I know you won't believe me now. But it's true. Hopefully in time you will see that I've changed, Bella says sadly. People always claim to change when in reality they just find a way to hide things better. And if anyone would know about that, it would be me. But we aren't talking about me, as I'm not the one who did wrong, and I'm actually doing fine without you, Kevin replies as Bella closes in again. Come here, let me give you a kiss and make things better. And in time, things will be the way they should be, Bella says. I know you think time will make everything right, but time doesn't do crap. In fact, I hate that effing word. It doesn't do anything for anyone who sits around waiting for it to finally be the right moment. All we have is the here and now, and the rest is all about perception. I refuse to live my life in a constant state of disappointment any longer, Kevin replies. Bella inches closer to him as if for a kiss, but this time she slaps him. Don't touch my face, Kevin says. What are you going to do about it? Bella asks as she touches his face again. I'm serious. Don't touch my effing face, B-I-T-C-H. Kevin growls. Playing with fire and not realizing it, she touches him once again. You're really tempting me, and will regret it once I decide to strike back, Kevin adds. Tell me, what are you going to do? Because I know you won't harm a woman unless you've changed that much in our time apart. It would be like you are losing yourself, and that's not the Kevin I know, Bella replies. Well, I know one of two things will happen. One, you will get slapped right back, as I've warned you not to touch my face anymore. Or two, your butt is going to get got, and you will end up screaming because I will tear it up, Kevin says, fire in his eyes. You won't do anything, and you know it. But I appreciate you acting like you do something, as I know my man, Bella replies as she slaps him again. Annoyed, Kevin stares at her as she continues to play around. He raises his fist at her twice, but deep down he knows she's right and he wouldn't really hurt a woman. Scott looks on, well aware that something is about to go down, as Bella isn't listening to Kevin's warning and is trying to tempt him into doing something that shouldn't happen. He knows that Kevin has been on the verge of snapping recently. And this could and should be the thing that sends him over the edge. Scott watches as she touches Kevin's face once more and then turns around and grabs something out of her pocketbook. While her back is turned, Kevin looks around for a second to ensure that no one is in the parking lot. It's now time to collect the follow-through on one of the things he warned her would happen. Shut the F up and don't you scream, Kevin snaps as he pulls down her pants and underwear. What the F are you doing? Bella shrieks while trying to fight him off, but it's no use. She is unable to move. Time for you to pay for not listening to me, and you will learn that there are some warnings you really need to listen to, and there's another thing you need to listen to. Don't you effing squeeze or shit on my dick, Kevin answers as he jams his cock into her ass. Oh my God, Bella yells while Kevin thrusts his hips a few times. Sorry. Do you want me to stop? Kevin asks with a grin. No, you're already in, baby. Don't you stop, Bella answers breathlessly. Intrigued and willing to test things in the parking lot just to see how far she would actually let him go, Kevin thrusts into her several more times. Bella doesn't pull away from him. In fact, she backs her ass into him so that they can go harder. Bella looks back at him and tells him that she has missed this as he goes harder with the intention of hurting her more than satisfying her. He still views her as the main reason why happiness hasn't lasted long in his life, but blaming her wouldn't be the smartest thing to do, given that they are both at fault. The fact that they always seem to get back together is something that they can't deny. This act right here is proof that something lies between them that can't be fought off or ignored. Knowing that they both like Kevin, knowing what they both like, Kevin decides that this time it's all about him. In the past, he's always made sure to make her happy, but this newer version of himself doesn't care what she wants despite loving her. He knows that his happiness is all that should matter, because at the end of the day, she will most likely screw things up again, and that's her pattern. So, not caring about her comfort or pleasure, Kevin reaches down and grabs her by the back of her neck and pushes her face down into the car seat, holding her face down, making it harder and harder for her to breathe. He's enjoying watching her struggle, and it's turning him on even more. There's nothing more appealing to him at the moment than having complete control over her. Before, he did everything for her, and she repaid him by being unfaithful, something that he's willing to forgive but will never forget, because it's not in his nature to have someone do him wrong and allow them back in his life as if nothing happened and no harm was done. Unable to breathe, Bella struggles as Kevin continues to plow into her with a smile on his face. He notices that she's not breathing much, so he turns her face so the air can enter her system, and she starts to breathe heavily. Not once did he offer to stop, and knowing that she did him wrong in the past, she doesn't ask him to, as he's clearly developed a new sense of erotic techniques that she wasn't ready for. Noticing a small amount of blood coming out of her ass, but Kevin thinks about stopping for a split second, but then remembers all the things that she has done to him in the past and decides against it. He continues with his pushing thrusts while her moans come louder and faster. He knows she's starting to remember how long it takes for him to bust a nut and is now trying to make noises or come up with a way for him to stop or finish a lot faster. Oh my God, baby, this is something else. Bae, please keep it coming and give me all of your cum in my mouth. I promise I won't waste a drop. Bella pants, as Kevin starts to wonder just how many guys have heard that. Am I bleeding? Bella asks. He ignores that comment and continues to plow her butt. What the F, Kevin? Bella adds. Shut up, you're killing my boner. This isn't about you right now. I need this, and you're right here and deserve this punishment, Kevin answers through a clenched jaw. I need you to either stop or finish. This isn't funny or exciting anymore, Bella says. Really, because your body and actions say otherwise. You just hate not having control, but this is something you will never have again, at least not with me. I'm the man around here, and no one is going to tell me what to do. And that includes you, because you're simply irreplaceable. You're simply replaceable. You can try to replace me, but as you've proven, you will come back to me time after time. Kevin replies. So will you, Bella says, a hint of pain in her voice. Excuse me. I come back because of love, and I'm stupid to think that people will change. So I constantly give it a chance, but in my soul, I know that people don't change. And in the end, I will end up disappointed like I always do. Kevin replies as he continues thrusting into her. You will see that you're wrong and I've changed, just like you have changed, Bella says. I'm just showing you the side of me that doesn't feel love, that feels only hatred and anger. You've never seen this side of me. You've never witnessed the rage inside of me. And it was something that I wish you never had to experience, because once it's directed at someone, it's the beginning of the end and will never change back to how things were before. I can promise you, though, if we fail now, for whatever reason, there won't be another chance, even if I wanted to be. Even if I wanted to, because I can't keep playing with my emotions this way. And if it were to simply fail again, I know that we aren't meant to be. And it's best to simply walk away, Kevin says. I won't hurt you. Whoa. And you can't hurt me, because we have a lot to look forward to. But I need you to be patient and understanding with me. I understand. I know that I'll screw up from time to time because I'm human. But we as people grow from our mistakes, Bella says. That's true. People do learn from their mistakes. But some of them learn by hitting rock bottom. And to me, you have been the bottom. And I can allow myself to continue to swim in a kiddie pool where there's an ocean out there with my name all over it. I'm not aiming for the sky, as I want to go above that. I want it all. Kevin replies as he thrusts harder. I love that about you, and I want to be there with you the entire time. It will be our legacy, and together we'll be able to enjoy everything that this world has to offer. I believe in you and will always be in your corner. I need you to remember that, because even when you think I'm not there, I am. I'll never leave your side. I'm probably your biggest fan, Bella says, as Kevin is nearing the end. I don't need you to be my biggest fan. What I do need is for you to stay away if you aren't serious and we aren't going anywhere. Because when the time comes, I'm only going to deal with the people who have been honest and loyal to me, and the rest can simply F off. I won't need to have fake love in my life, and would rent it before buying some fake hoe to be by my side, Kevin replies. Just give me time and I'll show you that I won't disappoint you, Bella practically yells. Just shut up and come here, Kevin shouts as he grabs her by the head and puts his cock in her mouth. I'm sorry. The thrust roughly. Okay, that's wrong. He thrusts roughly a few times before coming in her mouth and saying, "Here you go, you cum dumpster." Wow. Nothing has been more satisfying lately for him than to tell people exactly what's on his mind and doing things his way, because for so long he has done everything to make sure that the people in his life were taken care of and happy without ever considering his own feelings. Her actions were what forced him to change, and now he simply can't go back to caring about everyone else's feelings before his own. Because ever since he stopped bothering her, it's been all about Scott Morgan and him. And to a certain extent, Sean. But it wouldn't be fair to try to put him in a situation where he would be forced to pick sides and abandon who he is once more for someone, but who honestly doesn't deserve it. Debating with himself, Kevin knows that there isn't much that can be done to rebuild the damaged trust between himself and Bella. But he also knows that what he feels for her is unlike anything he's ever felt before. But even if he isn't strong enough to keep him from unleashing the demon that's been awakened inside of his soul because of her actions. Seeing that things are about to end badly, Scott gets out of the car and makes a coughing noise to get Kevin's attention, so he realized that he's not alone, just in case he wanted to escalate things further. Feeling even more comfortable with his decision, Kevin warns Bella that things aren't as they were and that they could never go back to being so, but that there's room for improvement as long as this is something that she truly wants, because they're approaching an age where every moment counts and they can't be wasted on people who aren't deserving. And if that means leaving behind the one person who he ever truly loved, then so be it. Realizing the sex isn't enough to make things better with him, Bella agrees with him and lets it be known that she's not the same person she was when they were together, and that things will be better than before, because this is something she needs in her life, and whatever comes their way, they will be able to overcome it all together, and no one will stand in their way. Not fully sold on the idea, Kevin looks at her as he smiles, knowing that she's up to something and he won't be falling for her lies again. Before looking back and nodding at Scott, letting him know that everything is going according to plan, he knows that in order to truly move forward in his life, something big needs to happen, and that getting back with Bella isn't what's needed. But he can't control what his heart wants, because their plans meant a great deal to him, and that's why he's here right now. Not because there's something extremely beautiful about her, but because he sacrificed a lot to make things work with her in the past. But it was ruined because she can't commit to one person and feels the need to spread her legs for anyone in the state in order to feel beautiful. Kevin looks at her once more. He can envision what it would be like to open her up by simply cutting out the belly button ring that he got her for her birthday a while back, and then playing with her organs, as he feels that everything about her is his and she's a toy that with time will be played with the same way that she played with him in the past. It would be foolish to think that he would take someone who's been unfaithful so many times in the past seriously this go around. It's all about vengeance for him this time, and to make sure that things go as planned, Scott is here to ensure that he doesn't get soft on him and actually follows through. In the end, it will be like one big therapy session for them, where he will find the peace that he's been missing from his life ever since the day he allowed her to become a part of it by befriending her in a time of need. To this day, he feels that was one of the biggest mistakes. Bella heads back to the office, feeling that there might be a sliver of hope in getting back together with Kevin, even though Kevin didn't really give her much of a response as to what he was planning on doing going forward. Because of their history, she feels that her chances of landing him once more are better than him just walking away from it all. Meanwhile, Kevin heads over towards Scott as he wants to know how much of what just happened Scott actually saw. And to make it clear that he's not deviating from the plan, he didn't say anything to Scott about coming to see Bella because he didn't know which direction was going to go and didn't want to be talked out of it or into something. Happy with that explanation, Scott looks at Kevin and knows that the boy who was once lost without Bella is all but dead, and that the man who stands in front of him now is someone who doesn't take crap from no one. Because he's a proud man, and there's nothing that anyone will be able to do to break that pride. Okay, so that's chapter 13. Next is chapter 14, and we will continue. Leave a like, share, subscribe to the channel. Help me out. Give me a comment what you think. That's it. See y'all later.